Good evening, everyone. Cool. Day 5. How many of you created AWS account? See, I see that Akila is having some trouble. Akila, your payment issue it is. It's a payment issue. You're using a debit card or a credit card. That bank should enable international payments. The bank should enable international payment. Let me, someone is trying to join. Yeah. So that should be enable international payment, not domestic payments. Then it will be activate for you. Check that if that bank is having internet banking, go to that and enable that international payments. By the way, which bank you are using? You can unmute and speak. Cool. What about others who are all having AWS account?
Yes, I have created.
Cool. So others, please create your AWS account with your debit card and please enable international payment so that it will deduct 2 rupees from your account with your confirmation of OTP. And then, okay, see, you are using debit card. If you're using debit card, let's say you're using ICIC or a SDFC, that account should enable on your debit card international payments. When you enable from the net banking, so it will work out for you. It will work for you because your payment is getting denied because of it. Okay. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, just I'll tell admin to connect with you. Just check with him after the class. Cool. My AWS is logged in here. So whenever you complete with your account and the first page is open like this to you. Since I'm already using from uh, many days, it will show like this to me because I have used all these services which are recently visited services for me. But in your case, it will be a plain board. Nothing you will see in the recently visited, but you can see this other panels. Okay. The first service we need to know in the AWS is EC2. We need to know in the EC2. So what is EC2? Most of the people are already know that EC2 is nothing but a server. EC2 is nothing but a server. Last time also I said server is nothing but many names, right? Node, VM, node, VM, agent, hop, net, slave, or mission, or instance. So these many names for a single server. So wherever you hear these names, nothing but server only. In different areas, people will call with a different name. Okay. In networking, I can call it as a hop or a net, or in Linux administration side, I can call it as a mission or a agent or a slave agent. Okay, the different naming conventions for this server. Okay, different areas people use it to call this server with different names because naming conventions. But what about this EC2? Why I'm calling this as a server? What is this EC2 means? I said instance, right? Just remember this instance. So in AWS we call it as instance. In Azure we call it as a VM. And in GCP also we call it as a VM only. Single server. If you create this server in 3 clouds, you call them as VM. In AWS you call it as instance. Why? What is the reason behind it? Now let me take my server. Assume this is your server, and what what is present inside my server in a bare metal server? The first one is your computing power, right? Your compute thing, where you can run your code, you can stimulate your code. So this is what it will be in the first. Okay. And then on top of it, we will be running an operating system. As we know already, we will be running an operating system. So that is Linux or Windows. We'll be running one operating system. On top of this, I will run my application. I'll run my application. This is my application. Application is single tier, two tier, three tier, whatever. I'll run on it this top of the operating system, because this operating system is run your device and operate your device. Behind the scene is a kernel, so it will actually operate your entire device, whatever you say. This operating system will communicate with you. This operating system will communicate with you, and then it will do work for you in your server, right? Yeah. Let me take this color. Now the thing is, so this particular server is resources to CPU and 8 GB. Okay. So it is like your mobile. Now let me take your mobile. Okay. I have a mobile pic. Okay. Let me take the mobile pic. So this is your mobile. Your mobile is nothing but you're having RAM and memory, right? RAM. RAM is nothing but 8 GB, and you will be having some memory. Okay. Memory around something. Okay. Let's take an 8 GB itself. When you're running applications, applications will consume your RAM. When you buy your new phone, will 8 GB RAM available for you in your mobile? No. There is only 5 GB will available for your RAM. Let me 5 GB will only available for your RAM. What about the rest of 3 GB? 3 GB is going to used by your Android operating system. Is there operating system, right? So Android operating system, it will be going to used by it. You can only use 5 GB. If you run 12 applications, and your phone may get into the hanging state, right? And while your application is running and running and running over, your application will start creating some files, some data, where those things are going to store. It is going to store over your memory, right? So when your memory is not enough, it will say internal storage is out of. When you're using Huawei or Huawei mobiles or something like that, Android mobiles in 3-4 years back, you used to get this Redmi mobiles and all. Your internal storage is out of storage. So people will started inserting a memory cards, right? Memory cards. Why? For extra space. For my extra space. Similar way, at my server, I have CPU and the memory. Will 8 GB is available for me? Will 8 GB is available for me? No, it will not available for me. So how much? Yes, let's say it is operating system, your Windows or Linux operating system is took over 3 GB and you have 5 GB to use. 5 GB to use. And you have deployed an application, right? You deployed an application and multiple users are accessing your application. Multiple users are accessing your application with your DNS and IP address. When 100 people are accessing and your application will running over the state, right? So it will also create some files which is going to occupy your 5 GB of your storage. So when you're running more applications and more data, your mobile will get into the hung state, right? So it will say that it will hang. You what you do, you operate that and but it will not respond to you. So that is the hanging state, okay? So it will hung. Then similar way your server also get into the same situation. When you're not having a space and your application is running and users are trying to access it, then what you need? You need an extra memory, right? You need an extra memory to your server. Now this is my extra memory. How much I want? I want a 20 GB. So 20 GB, this 20 GB, I can, if I attach to my server, then 5 GB plus 20, 25 GB, which is enough for my application, which is enough for the users and the applications. It will work nicely without hurdles, right? Now, what is this extra one? What is this extra one? So this extra one is nothing but your memory only, right? You are attaching to this server. You're attaching to this server. So while you're attaching to the server, what it will expand? Your computing power only, right? So it will expand your computing power. So let me add like this, okay? It will expand here. Your application is running and it will expand up to here. Take a rubber and you elast it will illustrate how much your force is and the capacity of that it will elast. Now you're adding an extra memory. This computing power is elasting. If you remove this, it will come to an actual state, right? It is like your rubber. It will come to your actual state. You're elasting and you can also decrease. You can attach and you can detach. So this is how the name the first E. And what we are elasting? C, compute power, right? That's what the second C. Where we are doing over the cloud, one more C. Instead of that, EC2. Which one? It is a server instance. Instantly we can create, instantly we can delete. So that's why the name is called in AWS to a server EC2 instance. And also at your Azure, why they calling VM? It's a virtual machine. So they simply name it as virtual machine. It is also work like the same concept. In your GCP also, it is VM machine only. But it is also worked on the same concept. But they have not named like that. It is simple name virtual machine. So virtual machine, behind the name there is a lot of subject. Hypervisor. The first one is a hypervisor. There are types hypervisor 1, hypervisor 2 and then this virtualization. So we'll discuss in the Docker classes regarding this hypervisor virtualization in more detail. But to understand this server concept, so this is my EC2. This can be a Windows or this can be a Linux or whatever. Now in this server, if I wanted to run this operating system, where can I get this operating system? In your AWS, you have a section marketplace where AWS is giving this all operating system in a image format. Image format. You can take this image like your laptop, you are connecting USB driver and then you will boot your operating system inside the laptop, right? Similar way, AWS is giving this operating system for free. You can just boot inside or load inside into it, and then it will work as a Windows or Linux server. So all these operating systems are already pre-available inside your AWS. Okay, so this is about the EC2, and we have types of the servers also. Types of the server. If I go to my AWS console, if you search, so this is first, and let me give you some introduction about this. Here it is region, in which region you are. It is a region, and this is your account, and this is your cloud shell, and this is your notification, and this is your setting button. So these are all my favorites. If you click on here, it will show all the services. So there are more than 100 plus services are available inside the cloud. First we are starting with AWS, and then we'll start with Azure, and then we will start with the Google. Okay. First, I prefer AWS because it is very easy to understand and similar terminologies, similar configurations, but a slight difference with your Azure and GCP. Let me, yeah. If I go here, so these are all the services according to the industry. I have all the services in the cloud. If you click on here, you can see all these regions. These are all the regions. We are in the Mumbai region, AP South 1, Asia Pacific South 1, not Andhra Pradesh. Okay, it is Asia Pacific South 1, and Hyderabad also we have. I need to enable, I guess, Hyderabad. And Virginia, Mumbai, Singapore. Click on the manage regions. So there are more 16 regions that not enabled for this account. If I click on this, please go on mute. Here you can see I can find Hyderabad. So this is Hyderabad. Select enable. Enable the region. Now it is enabled for me. Let me go back again. So I'm in the global. It will take, I think, 5 minutes to fetch and reload this page. Okay. You can switch to any other region. If you click on this Ohio or Virginia, so it will switch to that region. That means now I am in the Virginia region data centers. If I switch to Mumbai, I am in this Mumbai data centers. So I can create my servers, I can create my resources over this Mumbai region. Okay. If you search here EC2, so this is EC2. Click on this and add to your favorites. Click on this. So this is a page where it will show you all the resources related to your EC2 instance. Okay. Instances running, how many are there? And left side it is, we called it as a blade. Okay. So inside this blade we have many related services for this server. Related services for this server. Okay. Now, if you click on this running instances or instances, you can able to see this page where other instances have been stopped. To create any new instance, what you have to do, you have to click on this button, launch instance. You have to click on this button, launch instance. Okay, click on launch instance, and then it will take you to one new page where you have to define your configurations, what requirement you need with the server. Right now, we are in a free tier account, which is 12 months free. 12 months free in the sense whatever you create, it is not free like that. 750 hours with this particular account is free. You can use T2 micro, T3 micro for 750 hours with 30 GB of EBS storage. It's support for you. There is no bill on your account. Even though you get bill, just ignore that invoice or ignore that Gmail notification. No need to pay any single rupee to AWS. If you're done with your account, if it is more bill and they get blocked, create one more account and do practice. So this is a trick. No need to pay anything to the AWS cloud. We can do practice as many times as you want with the free tier accounts. Okay. Here, what number of servers instances means servers. Number of servers is 1. I want as of now. If you click on 2, it will create a 2. And left side, launch an instance. Here you can see name and tags. I would like to give a name. Let's say testing server. Okay, testing server. I would like to name my server as a testing server. This is testing server. And there is a section called add additional tags. What is this additional tags? You name as a testing server and resource type. You have a different types here in the server. So we will discuss from the next class volume, spot instances and network interfaces, NIC cards. We say yesterday I mentioned one IP address 127.0.0.0, right? So that is a NIC card at your local area network. So similar way at cloud network, so this is the card. It is an interface to make connectivity to your private servers. Okay. So while you're working over the real time, you must also come across these things. And then application or OS images, Amazon machine images, we call AMI in short, AMI. Here there are many operating systems. There are many operating systems. If you click on browse more AMIs, I have many operating systems here which I have a sections. AWS Marketplace AMI, community used AMI, created by me or published by anyone. Let me tell you what is this service is. Let's say you are a very good developer or you are very good at the programming and you created a operating system which works for a different use case like an Android or like an Android or like something a server based CentOS, Linux or Mac kind of thing, and you developed this product where you will do market. You have developed this and you have servers and everything and you want to sell to the customer. You have to do a market where you will sell. Will you give Instagram ads or will you give the Facebook ads? No, you will not give those ads to use. So you will what you will do, you publish that product for a free trial over this community, over this marketplace. You go to the AWS, you go to the Azure, you go to the GCP, and there you will publish this for a free trial purpose. Then people will see this who are all on the AWS or who are all on the Azure. So they see that they get notified over this enterprise accounts email IDs or their owners or the CTOs, CEOs, and then they came across these use cases. If they really like, they will try a POC, proof of concept, nothing but trial and error. They will try first. If they like, they'll start paying you a subscription. So that's why this section called AWS Marketplace. Here there are many things which is by the quick start of the AWS, which is already developed, and you can see verified provider. The person who is published this, even though by the AWS, it is verified. And if you see other things in the left side, all are verified only. In Docker Hub, you can see that the different tags actually. I have AWS Linux, I have Mac OS, and I have Red Hat, and I have this SUSE Linux, I have Ubuntu, I have Windows Microsoft servers, and I have different operating systems, Debian like this, whatever available. You can use. Now I'm selecting this AWS. Select this one. It's not moving to next page. Yeah. I have selected this. You can see. And then if you come down little bit, here it is asking instance type. What is this mean by instance type? If we go back to our page, I'm defining this 2 CPU and 8 GB memory, this server capability, the capacity of the server, right? The capacity of the server, how can I define this? You are having a big servers over the data centers, and then I want this much only. I don't want big resources. I want only 2 CPU and 8 GB. So like this, AWS is divided some families. Okay, family type. We call them as a family type. T2.micro, T3.micro, like this, T3 medium. Like this, there are T series, D series, R series. So different series of the servers are there. What is the difference here? This family, whenever you see at the family, the CPU and the memory and the performance of input output IO with the server respective speed will be changed. So there are different types, okay, memory optimized, general optimized, accelerator optimized, like this. We will discuss that in the next class. So there are types. Why these types are means, if you ask me why are this, they have created types of all this about sir, means I have an application. Let's say my application is a gaming. Let's say my application is a healthcare. Let's say my application is e-commerce, or let's say my application is a machine learning one, or let's say my application is data analytics or a database things. Will this normal server enough for me? No. So these are the different constraints based on your category of the application. Okay. So based on that, if you're using a gaming, then you need a high speed render server. If you're using machine learning things, you need a different server, which is a very high speed at the CPU. So accordingly, these family types are divided. That's why you'll choose these family types. Now my application is a very generic application. That's why we can go with general purpose, that is T2, T3, T4. If you go here, if I click on this compare instance types, here you can see T2, T3, A1, C4, C5, and if you go with second page here, you can see C6, which is, if you come here, T2 micro is low to moderate performance, which is having only 1 GB memory and one virtual CPU. And T2 small is 2 and one virtual CPU. If you go to the large, 2 CPUs and 8 GB memory, which is very moderate. And if you go to T3 2X large, it is up to 10 gigabit speed. So the architect type also will be changed into 86. Your laptop architect is into 64, right? 64 into 86 or 84 into 64. Your Windows laptop things also. Like the similar way, ARM and into 64, this is a server type architect. So if you are using any Intel or if you're using any Ryzen graphic cards with your system architect type will be changed. Your laptop things will be changed. So that is also a matter at the server. Okay. Here also we will select those kind of things because it varies the performance. Now let me select this t2.micro, which is I am free tier eligible. Select this instance type. I have selected, and you can see here the pricing details also. If you are selecting this family, and this is your pricing per hour. Just what is this on demand? Just leave it for now. We'll discuss what is spot and what is on demand and dedicated, reserved plans and all. Now there is second panel called, there's a question. Hello Rajni sir, how can we plan and select machine type in the real-time projects? Are there any rules which are constraints to look in when we are planning? Yeah. So as just before I said, so we have a different resources, okay, and different categories that we need to consider. If you are working on different workloads like CPU bounded, if you're working on CPU bounded or a GPU bounded or any other IO bounded, or you are looking at the latency, or you're looking at the batch processing, or you're looking at the stateless or stateful. So based on this, whatever the workload you are running with your application, so you can select this service. Okay, let's say my application is a gaming, let's say my application is a AI ML running thing, or let's say my application is just an e-commerce, or let's say my application is related to data BigQuery things. Then which server I need to select? See, there are types of servers like general purpose, and there is compute purpose, and there is memory purposed, and there is storage purposed, and there is GPU or accelerator, we can say accelerated purpose. So if you go with general purpose, T family and E family and D family will work. Series. If you go with compute purpose, C family and F family. Yeah, C family and F family. If you go with memory purpose, R family is the best one, R and M. Because you use this memory for databases. You're creating RDS, right? So these are going to be your databases. And compute purpose C and F for high CPU workloads, high CPU consumption. If you're running an e-commerce or if you're running in other gaming applications, you can go with this compute. Or if you are looking forward for the high IOPS, input output per second, nothing but a DB side only for your BigQuery things or any data related applications you are running over, then you can go for it. Nothing but GPU is your ML algorithms or AI things you are deploying into it, then P series is the best one or A1 series is the best one. For with your NVIDIA T4, we can use them over the clouds. So this is the selection criteria. Based on this, we will create these clusters or servers or whatever. If you are running this kind of application and this kind of server, you have to select. So this is the series and this is the types, because These types is having, let me go to this compare instances. You can see here, if I click on this A1 larg, this is not supported by this instance type at this account right now. And if I ask get advice, click on this get advice, and what do you want? Your workload type is cache in memory, Redis like that, or you want data warehousing, deep learning, you're doing ETL, you're doing Hadoop, or you're doing Kubernetes, you're doing Kubernetes, or you're doing machine learning, NoSQL, many things are there. See, streaming, video encoding, search, scientific numerical computing. If I go with SAP HANA or SAP RDS things, let's say I would like to go with uh, machine learning. What is your preference? My preference is high performance computing HPC, data science analytics, or business intelligence or IoT. Let's say business intelligence. What is your priority? High, low cost, CPU manufacturer, Intel, AMD, Apple, or Amazon. Let me go with this Amazon. Any specific parameters you wanted to mention here? Instance type, you want CPU or instance storage or network. I want number of CPU or a memory or instance storage. So let's say I would like to go with number of CPUs and get instance type advice. You can go with C8G. C8G. This is an information where your architect will do. They decide like this, your architect. Everything is available outside the cloud, but we don't know how to use them. If you click on this, you will get to know this. Oh, this is the type, oh, which is best for me. However, you are running some error and trial, POC, nothing but, and then you will get to know is it performance is good or not. If it is not, simply you will select for another. Right. So this Graviton 4 processor are very good processor, similar like your Intel processor. Almost Intel and this NVIDIA and Graviton are same, but the price difference will be there. Graviton is from the AWS. Now you can just close this or leave feedback. Just close this. I don't want it. Okay. Since I have selected this, I'm going with this type. Hope I answered your question, Basha. Cool. Now, so there is a one more panel called key pair login. What is this? I have my server. Let me take a server image. So this is my server and this is my laptop. This is my laptop. And I wanted to log in into my server and I wanted to do some configuration or I wanted to deploy an application. How can I interact with my server? So it is like your house. Whenever you create your server, there will be a key, okay? Public key and private key. Example, while you're going out from your house, you have lock and key. Lock and key. So lock is a public. If anyone come to your door, he can see the lock, right? But key is your personal key in your pocket. Nobody cannot see the key. You have the key, you can open the lock. Your house lock, door lock, right? Same way, you're creating this server at the cloud. Yes, it will create a lock and it will give you a key. So that is nothing but key pair. Key pair. Nothing but key pair. Okay. So this key pair it will create two things. It will hold one at the server and it will give you another to you to download. So this is a key. Download. Here you will get it. And here it is a one more key, which is a lock, and it is a public. So in order to access, you have to have this and you have to tell, hey, I have key, please allow me to enter into the server. So this is how you have to. Now I'm communicating with this server. If it is a Windows, there is different way of communication. If it is a Linux, there is different way of communication, nothing but protocol. So I have to communicate with this over SSH, nothing but 22 protocol. 22 protocol. So in my laptop, I have to say that SSH secure shell. Shell is nothing but your terminal. So this is your shell. Shell means this. Linux server will only command line interface. You can just type commands, no code or no graphical user interface. Like whatever we're seeing in a beautiful manner, user face, it will be not there. You need to type this SSH secure shell. Again, your terminal, your CMD in your system will be having a multiple names. Terminal, PowerShell, or a shell, or a bash, or interface, CLI interface. CLI interface. So these many names, don't get confused. Everything is same. Or Cloud Shell also. Recently, Cloud Shell, it is a shell ultimately. Okay, it is a shell. In your shell, you need to type SSH-I because I have a file. Which file? The key of the file, right? You will be having these things, .pem and .ppk. There's two extensions, I'll tell you about that. And then you have to say the name of the server. Let's say the server name is Ubuntu or Linux. Ubuntu or Linux at the rate the server IP address 123.4.5 like this. Then you will be able to connect to the server. If you not run this command, you will not able to connect to your server. So this is why you have to define this. So let me go here. Create. Without this key pair, will you able to? No, you cannot able to connect. But you can. So there's advanced concept called SSM. SSM manager or SSM agent. Okay. AWS system manager agent. So that is an advanced concept. Without the key pair, we can log into it. If you click on this create new key pair, you have to enter the name. Let's say a name is Multi Cloud. Multi Cloud. There are two types, ED and RSA. If you are in your BTech, you have these algorithms, right? FE Delman algorithm, AES algorithms, HA and AES, HA and AES. Algorithms 125, 128. This is used to cipher. Cipher means encryption. Text will be not like a text. It will create something, right? It will create like we call it as a cipher. Uh, Sometimes, please, if you're not understanding some technical words which I'm using, try to Google it and try to read them. So these are things which is very important. If you're claiming as an experienced person, we have to know all this. Nothing but if I say password Rajni123, and it will convert something like this, because of those algorithms. Because of those algorithms only we call it as a cipher. That's a secure way. So this key is will be a encrypted. So there's a method of ED and RSA. So behind the scene, that is the thing, and here it is RSA. RSA encrypts the private and public key pair, and you have two things, .pem and .ppk. .ppk is the previous version where there's a tool called putty. A tool called putty used to log into the servers. Many people know that. But over the period of time, now putty is not being used. For putty supported extension is .ppk, and now we are with the open, like open terminal. Wherever you go and wherever SSH connectivity will be there, you can use the PEM and you can access it. So that is with the .pem with open source. So ED is not secure. This is could be a secure RSA. Just create a key pair. As soon as you click on this create key pair, it will download one key pair for you in your downloads. Okay, in your downloads, and you can select here. The second panel is network settings. This network settings is nothing but our cloud networking. Whatever I said in the last classes will come in this panel. Everything. The DHCP, VPC, CIDR, IP addresses, subnetting, all this NAT, Git, all this skill will come into this single panel. This is a very important subject. 1 minute. So here I'm leaving this as a default. I'll tell you in the next class, but you need to enable this public IP. If I come to the security group, I can say that from who is the person or which is the standard way of communication can happen to my server. So that is nothing but security groups, a firewall restricting the things, the way of communication. If I create a new security group, I'm telling that allow SSH traffic from. Here it is, you can see 0.0.0.0/0. In last class, we only know 1.0.0.0, but we didn't discuss what is 0.0.0/0. This means anywhere or anything in the network. Anywhere or anything in the network. So that is 00 means anyone can access it. So that's why it's anywhere. You can also select from your custom, from your office location or your single IP address. From your home you're trying for specific device, then from the single IP address you can access it. Do I want SSH? Do I want HTTP? And do I want HTTPS? Yes, I want. Check these marks. And come down, you can see how much memory you want. 8 GB. How much? Yes, 8 GB is enough for me. Now I can go and launch instance. Launch instance. So it is creating my instance. 1 minute. Okay. Yeah. My instances get created. Then if you click on this, it will open your instance things. Okay, it is running, and you can see it is a private IP address where you can see 172 series, and you can see 15 series is a public IP address. Okay, and if you click on these instances, you can check the instance will be in a running mode. This is running mode, and you have to get here 2 by 2 check passed. 2 by 2 check passed. It is just initializing. That means it is running your operating system. It is booting your operating system at network level, OS level, and user level. Sometimes you'll get as a 3 by 3 also. If you get 1 by 2, then the server is something wrong with it. Something wrong with it. Okay. If I would like to connect this server, click on this server and go to this connect button here. You can see, right? Click on this connect button and it will open another page for you where you can see EC2 instance connect, which is going to connect over your terminal. But I don't want like that. You have to select this SSH. So this one, you can see the command here. You can see the command here. Copy this command. Open your terminal. When you open your terminal, you must in the download section. You must in the download section. How can you open in the download section? If you go to your file explorer, here in the downloads, you can see here in the downloads, this is got downloaded. It's got downloaded. Here you can right click and click on show more options. Open terminal. It will open the terminal for you like this. Okay. See, it is in the same path. If you paste the command, if you paste the command, this one here, it will connect with your server. It is asking how you want to connect. Yes. You can see EC2 user. EC2 user. EC2 user. Just allow me a moment. Okay. Where are we? Yeah, we logged into the server. Here, what I can do with the server? So this is called Linux part. Okay. I can deploy an application. What ultimately we can do? We can deploy an application inside the server. How can I deploy it? So there are some dependencies, configurations that you do, then you can deploy the application. Example, if you go and say that in order to do anything in your server, you have to update, yum update. So there is a command line things. So we have to go to sudo. So this is Linux server, or it is a Linux server. You can use yum. You'll be updating all the packages. I guess everything will be updated and nothing to update. Yes, or you can upgrade them. If I wanted to deploy a static application, yum install httpd. You have to say this. This is a command lining. Don't worry, we will discuss in the Linux. It's command lining things. Okay. Yum install httpd-y. Then it is going to install some service for you. That is nothing but Apache. Then I have to start this service. Systemctl system start httpd. Okay. Once you done this, you have to enter into a path. There is a one path called cd/var/www/html, because your program will open here. The front end program will open here. If you do ls, nothing is there. Don't worry about this command. This is just to show you something static content. I would like to create index.html. I would like to have a code or anything. Let's go to the GitHub. I want um, index.html code for temple run. If you go and ask GitHub, there are multiple templates will be available. You can just go to this repository. There's somebody, some developer has already done some code. You can see this, copy the code, and come to your terminal. Just paste here. I'm going to just save this. That's it. If I come back to my server, so this is my server. You have to click on this one here. Then this is your server, right? If I copy the private IP, if I go to the browser, if I search, will this application open for me? No, because it is a private IP. This private IP can be accessed for internal inside the AWS data centers, but not for us. So for us, we deployed application, right? Then what would be this public IP? This public IP you need to, if you paste this public IP, it has to open something for you. Open, right? An application it open. If you ask a play, it's playing. You can use your arrows in your keyboard. Okay, stop. Some Priyankas, it is coming on the top. Priyanka temple run. Okay. We have also students here, Priyanka. Two Priyankas. Okay. See, let me cancel this. I'll open.
Mine, Rajni.
Yeah. Is this your code?
No, not mine.
Your code. See, this is how we deploy a application inside the server. I hope everyone get it. Any doubts as of now with respect means about on this EC2 topic?
Yeah, yes, Rajni, I have a question.
Yeah.
So if you open the port 22,
Hmm.
so anybody in the world can able to access, right? So since it's a public.
Yeah, it is public, but until and unless you have a key, you cannot able to access.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
The key is there only, it will open. You can also try now. Take the public IP of the server and do SSH. It won't allow you.
Sure. Can you please ping me that IP address once?
Yes, you can try. In chat, I'll give 15.206.186.181. You can search over your browsers, mobiles, anywhere. It will open.
Hi Rajni, have a one question.
Yeah.
So we enable the selected the public IP, right, while we are launching the EC2 instance.
Mm-hmm.
So when we start and stop the instance, the
Mm.
public will be IP will be changed, right?
Yeah. Yet it will change. You want to know why it will change?
Yeah, you no, but if you want to explain, explain me.
Yes.
Other tips.
See, this server will give you one public IP and one private IP. Okay. Private IP will not be changed, but public IP will be changed. Am I right? Private IP will not change. If you stop or start, whatever you do, it will not change. Why it will not change means on your data centers, on your AWS data centers, the server will stick to your one specific location where under a network. So this network is nothing but this is your VPC, this is your VPC, and this is your subnet, this is your subnet, and inside the subnet you will get this server. This is sticked because it is a private network over your AWS, right? So this is a AWS. Since you have defined this private network and you get this private IP here because this is a private network. You give private CIDR as 10.10.2.4/16 and you give this one as here 10.10.1.0/24 and you will get an IP here of this server 10.10.1.12 like this. So this is the IP address. This will not become changed because this network is allocated for you under this. So AWS data centers know that you are from for particular account and for particular customer. So you will be not changed because he just stopped. He will not use these resources. Since it is a pay as you go, if you customer will stop, then I won't bill on him. If he start, I'll start a billing. But when he will start, for what purpose he will start? In order to host the application. So to host the application, private IP will not give you external internet access, right? Public IP will only give you external internet access. So that you need one public IP, right? You need a public IP. So that's why this public IP is coming. But now this public IP, AWS is buying for you actually. If you keep this public IP for 1 hour, they charge on your account. So when you stop, they don't you don't need a public IP. If when you're stopping, you're not using your application. Ultimately, users cannot access over the internet. So why do you want this public IP? So that's why this public IP, since they are giving for you free, so you will get it. When you stop and when you again start after 1 hour, this IP will become change. Let's say now you are getting 12.3.3 something like this. When you stop and start, you will get something like 15.12.3.4. Okay. So why this will happen for free tier accounts or for this normal thing? Under AWS public IPs, public IP DHCP, so they give some pool of IP addresses, some pool of IP addresses. So one of the IP will come to you, your server. One of the IP will come to you because they are giving free. So this IP will be changed. So when you stop, this IP will allocate it to some other account, someone who is using. So they will regenerate and reuse this IP addresses like this. If you don't want, this should be changed, because if you associate this IP address with your DNS, www.someabc.com, then this IP address will be changed, then your DNS will not work. So how can you do this? So this service we called Elastic IP, EIP. So it is a permanent IP and you have to pay for it. And for this you will get one ENI as well. ENI, Elastic Interface, which is a private IP for your server, which is nothing but this one, this private IP. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, that's. Thank you.
Cool. So this is why the servers and the public IP will be get changed over the AWS cloud. Here this IP will be changed if you start, restart. How can you check? If you go on these instances, you have selected instance state, reboot, terminate means delete. Okay, these things or actions. So these are other things we'll discuss. Okay, if you reboot, the IP address will be changed because it will be going to restart, and this is a private IP address. Cool. Please create your AWS account and start creating this by watching video. Any comments from YouTube? I can't see any comment, but people are watching. Cool. Cool then. So to delete this, click on this instance and terminate the instance. That's it. It will delete your server. Okay. So it is stopping, shutting down, and then it will stop. So please, whoever not complete your payments, and please do complete your payments and get the classroom access. And I'll be start posting the notes from tomorrow onwards, and there would be interactive sessions, and I will be also going to change the link from tomorrow. So please, whoever not completed, please complete your things. If you have any question, I'm open for question and answer. If not, then I can conclude the session for today.
Sir, do you have the syllabus that will be covered?
If you go to website and there you can see the syllabus. Otherwise, ping over the WhatsApp and you'll get the syllabus.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Yeah.
Rajni, there is a static IP also concept is there, right? So is it not applicable for this public IP which is getting stopped and getting changed?
The static IP is nothing but this elastic IP only, EIP.
Hmm.
So which is not going to be changed. It's not dynamic.
Right.
So this one will be a dynamic. It keep on changing. Keep on changing things, we'll say dynamic, and which is not going to change, we call it as a static.
So we can make public IP as a static, right? Like
Yeah, whenever you create this IP as a permanent IP, EIP, that is a static IP.
Okay, got it.
Cool then. Thank you everyone.